When I first began 10 years ago, I had two students, one from Iraq and one from Croatia. And now 10 years later, I have worked kindergarten through 8th grade, servicing 32 students from all over the world, mostly Arabic speaking from the Middle East, and then followed by our Burmese population. We're getting students coming from many different situations. Some are refugee, and with all of the different cultures that are coming into the schools, we really need to become more prepared and aware of how to work with these students. We need to understand more of where they're coming from and how best to work with these children that could be suffering from post-traumatic stress, lack of nutrition, having not been in school for many years. How do we handle these situations? So I think we did need a cultural competency training to make us more aware of how best to help our new population. We really felt that as a district, if we had, and I believe May did our training from International Institute, come in to do some cultural competency training, we really felt that it would help the teachers feel more comfortable adapting and adjusting their lessons, and not only their lessons, but just how they generally did their best practices throughout the day. So we did a half-day training with the International Institute to talk about verbal and nonverbal communication. But a lot of times too, they're asking more probing questions with the students, of course, permission and also the students' level of comfort with answering these questions. They're asking more questions so that they tie into the curriculum. We're reading novels this year, Inside Out and Back Again, A Long Walk to Water, which do deal with refugees and crises that they go through. And because of this training, the teachers are able to actually draw our students in as part of the discussion instead of just kind of, oh, I don't want to, bring up anything that could offend. We do have a wealth of resources within our own population of students because they've been through so many different situations that they can add to social studies, immigration projects, and these two novels that I've mentioned before. Some of the greatest benefits to having cultural competency training is to learn about the students that we are servicing, to learn about their families and where they come from. Many of the families come to us educated as former professionals in their country that are starting over, working in less desirable jobs just to support their family in their new country. I learn so much from my students every year. Each time I get a new student, even if they're from the same country as the other 5 children before them, their families are different, so I learn from them. And I think the more diversity we have in our schools, the better, because it teaches us how to work together in our society. My own grandparents came from Armenia in the early 1920s, and they had to adjust and adapt. And I think without the support of their community, who knows what would have happened.